Hello and welcome. This is Notibot ENG. Tonight, we bring you a recap of key developments in the Middle East crisis that has been escalating over the past few days. The United States and Iran have made significant moves towards de-escalation, including a surprise announcement from Donald Trump about a 2-week ceasefire. We'll also look at how this shift in momentum could impact global energy markets and international relations. Our top stories tonight include Iran's warning of potential closure of the Bab al-Mandab Strait and reports of a Gulf attack that killed 3 Thai crew members. As tensions in the Middle East continue to escalate, Iran's warning has sent shockwaves through global energy markets and shipping lanes. Iran has issued a warning that key maritime routes could face further disruption if diplomatic efforts fail between Tehran and Washington. According to a source cited by Reuters, Iran maintains that no negotiations are currently taking place with the United States, accusing Washington of seeking Iran's surrender through pressure rather than dialogue. The situation is escalating due to regional tensions and stalled diplomatic efforts. The Strait of Hormuz and Bab al-Mandab Strait are 2 critical choke points linking the Red Sea to the Gulf of Aden, playing vital roles in global energy supplies and maritime commerce. If negotiations fail, Iran's regional allies could move to close the Bab al-Mandab Strait, a major route for international trade. The warning highlights growing tensions over strategic waterways, with both straits playing key roles in global shipping. The International Maritime Organization estimates that over 50% of the world's oil supply passes through the Strait of Hormuz alone. Disruption to these routes would have significant economic implications, potentially leading to increased costs for consumers and reduced global stability. The situation is particularly concerning given the stalled diplomatic efforts between Iran and the U.S. The 2 countries have been engaged in a standoff over Iran's nuclear program, with the U.S. imposing sanctions and Iran pushing back against what it sees as aggression. With tensions escalating, the world waits with bated breath for a resolution that would ease the pressure on global shipping lanes. Following a dramatic escalation of tensions in the Middle East, U.S. President Donald Trump has announced a surprise 2-week ceasefire with Iran. Good evening, I'm your name, and this is your news recap for today. In a surprise move, former U.S. President Donald Trump announced a 2-week ceasefire with Iran in an effort to reduce tensions between the 2 countries. According to reports, the ceasefire was brokered by Saudi Arabia, which has long been a key player in Middle East diplomacy. The announcement came after a series of missile attacks on Saudi Arabian oil facilities and military bases, which were blamed on Iranian-backed militants. The attacks have raised concerns about regional stability and the potential for wider conflict between Iran and its adversaries. Trump, who has maintained close ties with Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman despite his administration's criticism of the kingdom's human rights record, said he had spoken to the Saudi leader earlier today and was assured that the ceasefire would be implemented. The U.S. State Department has welcomed the development, saying it could help to reduce tensions in the region. However, some experts have expressed skepticism about the long-term prospects for a lasting peace agreement. As always, when it comes to Iran-U.S. relations, there are many questions unanswered. What exactly is behind this sudden ceasefire? Is this just a short-term stopgap, or does it represent a genuine effort at de-escalation? We'll be keeping a close eye on developments in the coming days and weeks as more information becomes available. Now that a potential U.S.-Iran ceasefire has been reached, let's examine the implications for both sides and how this shift in power dynamics plays out. A 2-week ceasefire has been announced, allowing U.S. President Donald Trump to hail the reopening of the Hormuz Strait as a victorious dawn of a new golden age. However, Iran enters peace talks with the stronger hand, having demonstrated its power to inflict pain on the Trump administration. Tehran still holds a stockpile of highly enriched uranium, HEU, and claims at least part control of the strait. The ceasefire terms remain hazy, with varying interpretations in circulation. Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif said it covered everywhere, including Lebanon, but his Israeli counterpart Benjamin Netanyahu quickly contradicted him, vowing Israel's campaign over its northern border would go on. Trump said the ceasefire was contingent on the complete, immediate, and safe opening of the Strait of Hormuz. Tehran agreed that shipping would proceed through the waterway, but with the caveat that passage would be under the control of the Iranian armed forces. Reports from the region suggested that Iran planned to implement its earlier proposal to share control of the strait with Oman and split the proceeds from tolls, set at $2 million, £1.5 million, a ship. This would represent a significant departure from the current system, where the U.S. has dominated maritime traffic through the Hormuz Strait for decades. The implications of this new arrangement are still unclear, but it marks a significant shift in power dynamics in the region. The ceasefire comes after weeks of intense conflict between Iran and its adversaries, including the U.S., Israel, and Saudi Arabia. The outcome will determine the future of regional security and the global economy, which has been heavily dependent on oil exports from the Middle East. As talks begin, it remains to be seen whether Iran's demands can be met, or if the ceasefire holds as a temporary measure. Following a surprise announcement from U.S. President Donald Trump, a potential new development in Middle East diplomacy has emerged regarding Iran's strategic waterway. President Trump announced on Wednesday that he's considering a joint venture with Iran to establish tolls in the Strait of Hormuz. This comes after a 2-week ceasefire deal between the U.S. and Iran was agreed upon. According to reports, President Trump is open to partnering with Iran to collect fees from vessels passing through the strategic waterway. The proposal involves setting up a joint company that would be responsible for collecting tolls, which would then be shared between the U.S. and Iran. The idea has sparked controversy among lawmakers, who have expressed concerns about the potential implications of working with Iran. Senator Bob Menendez, chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, said in a statement that any agreement to work with Iran on tolls is unacceptable due to Tehran's extensive record of violence and aggression. Meanwhile, Iranian officials have welcomed the U.S. proposal, viewing it as a positive step towards improving relations. The deal could potentially reduce tensions between the two nations and provide a new revenue stream for Iran. The Strait of Hormuz is a vital waterway that connects the Gulf of Oman to the Persian Gulf, and any disruption to shipping through the area has significant implications for global energy supplies. The proposed joint venture could mitigate some of these risks by providing a more stable source of income for Iranian officials. However, it remains unclear whether such an arrangement would be feasible in practice. After weeks of escalating tensions, Washington and Tehran have reached a long-awaited agreement to establish an immediate ceasefire in the ongoing conflict. According to sources, President Trump announced a 2-week ceasefire with Iran on Tuesday night, following an agreement proposed by Pakistan. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi confirmed Tehran's acceptance of the proposal, which includes allowing safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz during those 2 weeks. The Pakistani proposal came hours before Trump's deadline to launch massive strikes if no deal was reached. This development marks a significant shift in the ongoing tensions between the U.S. and Iran, particularly in the region. The Strait of Hormuz is a critical waterway that connects the Persian Gulf to the Gulf of Oman, and its secure passage is crucial for global oil supplies. The U.S.-Iran standoff escalated following the killing of Iranian Major General Qasem Soleimani by a U.S. drone strike in January. Trump's administration had threatened to take action if no deal was reached on Wednesday night. However, with Pakistan's intervention, both sides have agreed to a pause in exploration of further negotiations. The significance of this agreement lies in its potential to reduce tensions between the two countries and prevent further escalation. The Strait of Hormuz remains a critical point of contention, but the temporary truce could provide a much-needed respite from the ongoing crisis. With Iran's acceptance of the Pakistani proposal, both sides have made a commitment to work towards de-escalation, at least for the next 14 days. Following a devastating incident in the Gulf, Thailand's authorities have confirmed that 3 crew members from a cargo ship have lost their lives. A Thai-flagged cargo ship, Mayuri Nari, was struck by a missile while traveling through the Gulf waterway on March 11th. The incident occurred after U.S. and Israeli airstrikes in Iran led to Tehran's decision to close the strait, a crucial artery for global oil supplies. The Mayuri Nari departed from a port in the United Arab Emirates before being targeted. 20 Thai crew members returned home in mid-March, while 3 others were reported missing and presumed trapped in the damaged engine room of the vessel. Unfortunately, Thai Foreign Minister Sihasak Phuangketkeow confirmed that the 3 remaining crew members found after the incident lost their lives. The attack raises concerns about the safety of international shipping in the region. The Gulf waterway is a vital route for global trade and energy supplies, with many vessels passing through it every day. The incident highlights the risks faced by seafarers operating in areas with heightened tensions between nations. The U.S. and Israeli airstrikes in Iran have had significant repercussions, including the closure of the Strait of Hormuz by Iranian forces. This move has disrupted global oil supplies and led to increased tensions between the United States and Iran. As the situation continues to unfold, it is essential for governments and international organizations to work together to ensure the safety of seafarers and protect vital shipping lanes. The incident also underscores the importance of diplomatic efforts to resolve conflicts peacefully and minimize the risk of military action. With global trade and energy supplies hanging in the balance, it is crucial that all parties involved take steps to de-escalate tensions and promote stability in the region. And that's all for tonight's news recap. We'll continue to monitor the situation in the Middle East and provide updates as more information becomes available. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for the latest news and analysis. Stay informed, stay up to date. Until next time, good night.